almost a 9-year chart right here. And look at the spurt that Alphabet is making relative to Facebook in the last several months. You see right here, it spent most of this time since, let's say 2016 or so, trailing on this basis Facebook. So obviously, a little bit of less of an overhang perception-wise in terms of regulatory issues, and then just multiple earning streams that Google is able to really fire on right now.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
So we are back. Like I said last class, we don't have an assignment due this week except your introduction, and you registering in Pearson Lab so that you'll be able to do their homework and assignment and test when they are ready. So it's next week that we actually start having something due. Let me see. Okay. Now I'm gonna share my screen so that we continue. I think I opened so many things here. Okay. All right. Today we begin with here sampling method of collecting data. Remember, when I introduced this class, I explained that statistics, what we do is to collect data, analyze data, and interpret data. So how do we collect those data? We collect them using 3 methods, either with a telephone interview. Just 1 minute, let me be sure. Yeah. Either a telephone interview or mailed questionnaires, or even a personal interview. Sometimes we can collect data if sometimes we use data that are already collected. We call those type of data secondary data. Like if you want to study how the stock market are doing, you can go to Yahoo Finance and see the stock prices that are already there. They have been collected by somebody and stored. So we call them secondary data. However, today, what we are, where we are in, our focus is on primary data. In this case, you have to collect the data by yourself. So they call it primary data or primary source. How do we collect those? We use sampling. Now, we have 5 methods of sampling. 5 methods. The first method, one of them is the random sampling. The second one is the stratified sampling method. Then we also have the systematic sampling sampling methods, and we have the cluster sampling methods, and then of course the convenience sample sampling methods. So these are the methods we use to sample. We sample because we cannot study the entire population all the time, except if we are doing a census, and then we can study the entire population. But studying the entire population can be, sometimes it might even be impossible sometimes in some cases, or they are too expensive, or or they consume a lot of time. Now, let me show you a situation whereby they can be too expensive. I'm sure if you watch TV, you have been seeing what is called collision tests. I hope you can see the screen. Collision tests done by automobile manufacturers to, when they make claims about how safe their cars are, or how safe the seatbelt is, they can test it with a new car that they manufacture. Now, if they decide to test all the cars, it means that they will damage all the cars, since because collision tests involve hitting the car, some kind of simulating an accident. So which means that you're gonna crash all the cars, and that year you won't have anything to sell. See, so sometimes in some cases, studying the entire population can be either too expensive or even impossible. So that's why we select a sample. So you can see General Motors selecting only one sample of the cars and then test it to see if it is safe in terms of the quality of life of a driver after an accident. So that's why we study sample, because we want the sample. We select at random a sample that represents the population, and then after studying the sample, we can use it to make a conclusion about the entire population. Okay. Now let's look at this sampling method one by one. The first one we'll be looking at is the random sampling. Random sampling. In random sample, I wrote here that samples are selected by using chance method or random numbers. So we can generate random numbers by using a calculator, a computer, or a table of random numbers. Now, we are selecting at random. That means the sample will be unbiased, which means that every member of the population will have equal chance of being selected. So that's the good thing about random number method and random sampling method. So the result you will get from the sampling will be unbiased. It will be a true representation of what you can see in the population. Now, I will show you an example of how this is done. I'm going to use table of random numbers. You will find it in the textbook. When you buy the textbook, usually every statistics textbook has some tables at the end of the chapter. Or I also have a statistical table for you here in the class. Let me see. Let me show you where it is located. Remember, like I explained, if you want to find where something is located in the handout is located in the class for you. I'm at the wrong class here. Okay, let me close this class, and I'm on the wrong class. Let me open your class in Morgan. Okay. So in this case, okay, and then I can open your class in Canvas. Okay. Okay, this is your class here. So I have this. If you click on the, like I explained on last month in our last class, if you want to locate where a file is, just go to File here, click on that, and you will see where I have it uploaded for you here. Statistical table. You can see right here. You can download it, and you see different kind of table. The one we're using today is table of random numbers. And so I can open it from here. Let me see if you can open from here. Okay, you can see statistical table. So the one we're using here, okay, this one does not have table of random numbers. In that case, I'll upload one for you. But this one is, you're gonna be using this for the rest of the class. The only table that is missing here is the table of random numbers. So I'm gonna upload it for you here. Let me do it right away. I'll have let me see, upload okay, random number table. Okay. See, table of random number. See, I have it here. So let me upload this one for you. So you can always, okay. It is now there. So you can see it right here. Let me make sure you're seeing this. Okay, you're seeing this. Okay. So now I can open it and then download it. Okay, good. So you can see right here. So that is how it looks. You can see the numbers are all at random. They don't have any pattern. Okay. So this is what we'll be using. Now let me show you how you can use this in this example. Now, so let's say that we want to we have a list of medications. Okay. You can all see the screen, right? This screen here. Hello.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, you say, look at this. It says, suppose that a researcher wants to study the potency and efficacy of 10 medications. So because of time, excuse me. Because of time constraints, the researcher will have to examine the potency and efficacy of only 15 medications. Using the table of random numbers, select a random sample of 15 medications from 55 medications listed below. So look at the 55 medications. So the first thing you do is to give that population, give them numbers. Say give them serial numbers, and like I have for them already here. The first number here is 01 for ibuprofen. Second number here is 02 for Advil. So you are asked to select 15 medications out of 55 at random in such a way that all the medications will have equal chance of being selected. What do? The first thing we do is to go to the table of random number. Actually, the first thing you do is to give them the population, the numbers, serial numbers, which I have already given all the way to 55. The second thing now to do is to go to your table of random numbers that I just showed you, then open it, then close your eyes, point at any of these columns. Let's say that we chose this one at random. Okay. Now, and then this is the one we chose the fourth column. There's this one here. This one right here. Excuse me. Now, at random, we choose it. Now, we can go back to our medication again. See, our medication show that each of them have 2 digits, 01, 02, 03, all the way to 55, which means that you'll be choosing only 2 digits, okay, from the random number table. So the first digit to be we choose from the random number table will be, if you look at it, let me make this bigger. See, the first 2 digits here is 28. If you like, you can go this way, or if you like, you can go down. So let's just go this way, okay? The first number is 28. So we're gonna write 28, okay? We have from here, we have 28. The second number is if you look at our random number, we say the second number is 005. See, 05. So we go to our medication chart and write 05. The third number, so we follow it that way until we get to the 15th number. The third number is after 05, we got 3. See, look at 3. But then 3 and 0, because we are going this way. So this is 30. That is 30. Then we go to our medication chart and write 30. Okay. Now, we can go back to this and choose. After 30, we have 21 and 90. Now, 21 and 90. So we have back to our medication chart. We got 21, we got 90. But see, we have only 55 medications. So 90 is, we can't use 90. So that means we gotta do what? Drop it. Okay, we continue. Now, next number we'll be choosing will be, we have, after 90, we have 83. We can't use it because it's bigger than 55. We only have 55 number. We can't use 63 either, but we can use 46. So we go to our medication chart and put 46. 46. And so we continue like that until we get the 15th number. Okay. After 46, we cannot use 60 because 60 is bigger than 55, but we can use 12. So we go to our medication chart and put 12. Okay, 12. Next thing, how many numbers we have so far? 28, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We still need the 9 numbers. Okay. Now we go to our random number table. We got 12. Then we have 70. We can't use 70 because 70 is bigger than 55. We have 55 medications there. But we can use 30. Okay. So we go to our chart and put 30. And we continue. After 30, next one we have is 56. 56 is bigger than 55, so we can't use it. The next one is 67, which is bigger, we can't use it. 61, which is bigger. 88, which is bigger, we can't use it. 34, we can. 34. So we got to our chart. We got 34. So notice that each time we find a number that is bigger than 55, we can't use it. Also, if we see a number, if a number repeated, we can't use it because it has to be random. Okay. Next is we got go back to our random number table, which is we got 30. Actually, we got 34, I think. Let me make sure. What we have, okay, 34 is what we have last time. So we can now go back and have after 34. That's name. Next one, last number there is 4. Next number after that is 4. So that means 44. So we go there and put 44. Okay. 44. Next number will be after 44. Let me share it. We have 39 and 39. Okay, we have 39. Let's put 39 right there. Go to our chart. 39. How many numbers do we have so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 5 numbers left. Let me continue that number on this side. So the next number we need is okay, you know what? Let us say that it is, to save time, let's say that it is 10 numbers we want. Okay. So this number now, number 28 is for, make sure you're seeing this. Yep. Number 28 is for what medication? 28 is for the medication is buprenorphine. So you pick it. It's called buprenorphine. Morphine. Now the next number is 5, and that medication that represents cataflam. See right here, cataflam. So have cataflam. Next number is 30, which is right here. Hydrocodone. Hydrocodone. Next number is 21. And 21 is for oxaprozine. Okay. 90, we can't use 90, so we're dropping it because it's bigger than 55. Next is 46. Remember, we are supposed to select 15 numbers, but I stopped attempt just to save time. But at least you have seen how it is done. 46 is for DHC plus. DHC plus. Number 12 is the next one, which is the actron. Actron. Number 30. Oh, we can't use 30 because we have 30 already here, so we cannot use it. Okay, so 34 is next one, which is methadone. Methadone. 44 is for Fiorina. Okay. And number 39 is oxycodone. Oxycodone. Okay. Oxycodone. Now, and so on. So this is how it is done. You can see that all these things, not indications here, are selected in such a way that they all have the equal chance of being selected. Now, this is if you are doing it with a random number table. If you want to do it faster, you can use Excel. And I'm going to show you how to do it in Excel. Now, let me open an Excel and then share it with you. Excel. I don't know if you can see it. Okay. Okay, I think it's open now. Let me share the screen. So I'm going to open it. So originally we wanted to select a random number of 15 numbers. We are doing it manually and it was taking so much time. Now you will see how easy it will be with an Excel. All you have to do is to put the right command. One thing you have to know about Excel is before you can do anything in Excel, you must put equal sign there in the cell. What are the cells? Any of these boxes, any of these are called cell. Like here, you have G. This is the column G, and it's on row 4. So this is the cell. So you can now we call it cell G4. Now, once I put equal sign, and then I'm going to type round. Now it will come out. Round between is the keyword, is the command. You double click on it, it will be there. So I'm selecting from, we have 55 medications, from 1, comma to 55. Actually, out of 55 medications, I'm selecting to 15. Okay, I close parentheses. Then once it's in this form, I can press the enter key. Now from here, I can now copy the formula down. It will select until I get to 15th number. See? Say 1, 2. Now this 14, I can't use it. So I'm gonna delete it. Okay, let me delete that row. Okay. Okay, now you can see 14 is right here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So because we're going to remove one of the 14, so we should be good. This is gone. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. Let me. Well, one thing with this Excel method is that once you change the number, it will change the whole, it will randomize it again. Any questions from what I have covered so far about simple random sampling and using the table or using the Excel? Any question? Hello, class, any question?
No.
Yeah, good. Now, another method of sampling is called the systematic sampling. See, systematic sampling. In this method, what we do is to select, suppose we want to study the number of TV in a household. And we have a, let's say, 1,000 household or 1,000 household to study, but we want to select only 20 of them, or maybe we need only let's say that we want to study only 60 of them, and we have 600 household. What do we do in systematic sampling? What we do is this: we select members of the population according to a random starting point, and then a fixed periodic interval. Now we have I'll give an example here. Let me use an example I have here for the household. Let me make it bigger so you can see what I mean by this. Okay. Okay, make it bigger. So now, in this case, example, say a common way of select, for example, if you want to select a random group of 1,000 people from a population of 50,000 using the systematic sampling, what you're gonna do is this: you divide 50,000 by 1,000 because you want to get 1,000 people out of 50,000 people. So that means you'll be selecting every 50th person. So that means that if the first person you selected, let's say that the person you select them according to their houses where they live. So let's say that you selected the first person that live in house number 2. Next person you will select is somebody that live in house number 52, because remember you're selecting every 50th person. So next person we selected will be in house number 102, and so on and so forth until you get to the 50th person. So that's why you call it systematic. You have a random starting point. You select every number depending on what you decide. You can decide to select every 10th person, or every 10th house, or every 10th car, and so on and so forth. So we call it systematic. Well, systematic is not as reliable as random method. In random method, you select as random. That means everybody have equal chances of being selected, or every element in the population have equal chance of being selected. But in systematic, it's not like that. I mean, it is because you have a random starting point. It is still a good method of sampling, but still it's not as reliable as the random sampling. Next one is the stratified sampling method. In this case, you divide the population into groups that are called strata and select a sample from each group. Okay. Now, suppose I'm studying. I want to know the income of study the income of people who live in Baltimore City. I might say, okay, let me divide the population into 5 groups. I'll call it group or strata. Okay, I can say teachers, then number selected, then I can say doctors, I can say lawyers, then I can say what else? The law enforcement, police. So from each of this group, I can select at random. Maybe I can select 30 from some people might select the same number of people. Let's say 30 or 20 people from each group and study them, okay, at random. See? So because we divided them into groups and select a sample from each group, then that's why we call it stratified sampling. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, good. Now, next one is the one we call cluster sampling. Now, cluster sampling, here we select subject or element of the population that or that make up the sample from a where they are in. Sometimes you might have people or members of the population that have a kind of similar, they have a similar, they have some kind of similarities among them, clustered in one place. For example, if I want to study, let's say, the number of the incident rates for COVID-19, we have some hospitals in Maryland where we have a lot of patients having COVID-19 being treated. So they are in a cluster there. So what you can do in a cluster sampling is that you can select only 3 hospitals, then study the entire population of entire sample, element of all the COVID-19 patients in that in all the 3 hospitals selected. Now in Maryland we have more than 3 hospitals, but you select at random 3 of them, where those that have that element are clustered together, and then study all the elements inside the that are in those 3 selected hospitals. So the only difference from here is that from stratified sampling, that here you divide them into group and select sample from each group and study. But here you divide them into group into a cluster that have similar demographic experience, or that share similar demographic experience. Then study all the elements in that cluster. That's the difference between cluster sampling and stratified sampling. Now I'll give you an example. The one I have here is this: an airline company might want to survey its customers one day. They don't have to study all the planes, all the customers in their plane. They might select only 5 of their flights where all the customers are clustered together and study those samples, pass that survey instead of, so that is the difference between cluster sampling. If it is stratified, then in that case, you might select different airlines, different flights that are coming from Washington, flights that are arriving from New Jersey, flights that are arising from New York. And then inside these 3 flights, you select sample of 50, 50, 50. That would be stratified sampling. But for cluster sampling, there are many flights arriving from different parts of the country. Just select 5 of them where the passengers are clustered. Or if you are interested in studying those flights coming from New York, select the flight, let's say 3 or 4 flights where the passengers coming from New York are clustered, and study the entire passengers. Pass out the questionnaire to all of them. See? So that is the difference between the cluster and the stratified. Last one but not the least is the convenience sampling. This is the where the samples, members of the samples are selected at the convenience of the researcher. I'll give you an example. Sometimes when you call even some website, when you go to some website, excuse me, let's say Comcast website, want to pay a bill, they might ask you if you are willing to participate in a survey after the transaction. So you see, they don't go into the trouble of looking for you like we normally do when we do sampling. We search for our subject. Here, they already have you as a customer, so they are asking you at their convenience. It is convenient for them to just ask you to fill a survey for them. Now, so we call it convenience sampling because they did it at their own convenience. So I'll give you another example. When you make a call, maybe to post office or the government agencies, or even some companies, the phone will ask you if you can complete the survey after this call. See? So they didn't go into the trouble of looking for you. You actually looked for them. You wanted for them to help you with something. They asked you, okay, can you do a survey for us? So that is a convenience sampling, because they collected it at their own convenience. Now, convenience sampling, they're not really reliable so much. And I'll give you an example of why they are not. In 2016, during the presidential election, there are so many polls coming out showing that Hillary Clinton will win the election. Then the ex-president Trump, his poll number was so very bad, but yet he won the election. So even though the polls were showing that Clinton will win the election. So that's what, so most of the poll numbers are collected at random, at the convenience of the researcher. So that's why election polls are not really that reliable. So any question? Any question, class?
No.
Okay, good. So now I've shown you how to collect data through sampling. Now on Friday, we will start the actual calculations, and I will show you how to present data using different charts and tables. Now, I'm sure that by now you might have downloaded your the handouts that is supposed to that is meant for this week. I'm sure they have. I also sent you a reminder message. I hope some of you have responded to those messages I sent you. Invitation. Hello, class. Hello.
Repeat that.
I sent you a remind invitation. I hope you all responded to that so that you can get a notification from me on your phones.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
Please respond to those invitations so that you'll be put in my class in the mailing list, so I can, when I send a message, it will come directly to your phone. Okay. Any question for me? Hello, everyone.
No.
I don't have any questions.
No.
Okay. So by this weekend, I will have all their homework updated in Pearson, my lab, so that next week you can start doing homework and quizzes on the Pearson. And then next week we start actually we'll start on Friday to do the actual calculation. That data presentation from Friday. Then next week we continue with that, and then from there we can go to data description. So please do your best to get everything that you need ready. What I mean by that is to go to where you have your course material and get registered using the access code that they will give you. See, I showed you this last time so that we can be able to have access to Pearson My Lab, where I will be putting your homework and tests. Okay. Other than that, if you don't have any other question, then I think today we're closing early. We are closing 8 minutes early. But Friday.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So do we have to pay that $79.99, or is that included into our what's it called? Into our student account?
The information I have is that it is already included in your student account.
Okay.
So all you have to do is to for you to click and to reveal your code, this code here, and then you can be able to get the access codes that you use to register. Okay.
Okay.
Other than that, please try and get it done this weekend. But by next week, I will start putting those homework and the quizzes. They have a due dates. Any other question for me? Any other question?
Nope.
No.
All right. All right. I will see you Friday then.
Okay, have a good one.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
have a
you.
good one.
You're welcome. Okay. Bye bye. Chambers, do you have a question for me?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Okay. Have a good day.